The ocean is a big mysterious place. It looks calm on the surface, but underneath, it's a different world. It's full of strange creatures and amazing secrets. Most of us only see the top layer. We don't think about what's swimming deep below our boats, but down there, in the cold, dark water, live some of the planet's most incredible animals. These are not just small fish. We're talking about giants, true monsters of the deep that have been around for a very long time. They are a part of a world that we are only just beginning to understand. A world that is tough, unforgiving, and absolutely fascinating. Among these giants, one fish stands out. It's a creature of myth and legend for many fishermen. This is the giant bluefin tuna. It's not your average fish, it's a powerhouse. A torpedo made of muscle that can cross entire oceans. Imagine a fish as big as a small car, swimming silently beneath the waves. It's a humbling thought. These creatures are the kings of their domain. They are fast, they are strong, and they are incredibly smart. Catching one is not just fishing, it's a battle of wits and strength against one of nature's most perfect predators. It's a job that requires respect for the animal and the water it calls home. For centuries, sailors and fishermen have told stories about these massive fish. They spoke of epic struggles that lasted for hours, sometimes even days. They described lines snapping like thread and rods breaking in two. These weren't just tall tales to tell at the dock. They were accounts of real encounters with a true force of nature. The giant tuna represents the wild, untamed spirit of the ocean. It reminds us that no matter how advanced our technology gets, there are still things out there that are bigger and more powerful than we are. It's a lesson in humility, served up on a fishing line. The search for these giants is what drives many people to the sea. It's not just about the money, though that can be a big part of it. It's about the challenge. It's about testing your skills against the best the ocean has to offer. It's a dirty, difficult, and often dangerous job. You're out on the water facing the elements, all for the chance to come face to face with a legend. It's a pursuit that gets in your blood. It's the kind of hard work that reminds you you're alive, pitting human determination against the raw power of the deep blue sea. It's a job I can respect. So what makes the giant bluefin tuna so special? Well, for starters, it's built like a champion athlete. This isn't your everyday fish. A fully grown bluefin can be over 10 feet long and weigh more than 1,500 pounds. That's heavier than a grand piano. Their bodies are shaped like a torpedo, perfectly designed for speed and power. They can swim faster than 40 miles per hour in short bursts. That's like a racehorse, but underwater. They are also warm-blooded, which is very rare for a fish. This allows them to hunt in the cold, deep waters where other predators can't go, giving them a huge advantage. Their reputation is legendary among people who make their living from the sea. They are known as the king of fish for a reason. Bluefin tuna are migratory animals, meaning they travel incredible distances. A tuna tagged off the coast of North America might be found months later near Europe or Japan. They swim across entire oceans as part of their life cycle. This constant movement builds incredible muscle, which is part of what makes them so strong and so valuable. They are the ultimate survivors, navigating a vast and dangerous world with unmatched skill. They are not just fish, they are globe-trotting titans. Catching one is the ultimate test for any fisherman. It's not like catching a bass in a lake. Hooking a giant bluefin is like hooking a freight train. They don't give up easily. They will fight for hours, pulling with unbelievable force. They will dive deep, pulling hundreds of yards of line from the reel in a matter of seconds. The fight tests not just the fisherman's strength, but also their endurance and their mental toughness. It's a psychological battle as much as a physical one. You have to anticipate the fish's every move, and one small mistake can mean losing the fish of a lifetime. This combination of size, speed, and power has earned the bluefin a place in fishing folklore. It's the fish that other fish stories are measured against. For a commercial or sport fisherman, landing a giant bluefin is the peak of their career. It's a story they will tell for the rest of their lives. It's a symbol of skill, perseverance, and a little bit of luck. The bluefin tuna is more than just a big fish, it's an icon. It represents the raw, untamed power of the ocean, a true superhero of the deep that commands respect from all who encounter it. Catching a record-breaking tuna isn't something you do with a simple fishing rod and a bucket of worms. This is serious business, and it requires serious equipment. We're talking about heavy-duty gear built to withstand incredible forces. The fishing rods are thick and strong, often called stand-up rods because the fisherman has to stand and use their entire body to fight the fish. The reels are massive, holding thousands of yards of braided line that is tested to handle hundreds of pounds of pressure. The hook alone is bigger than a man's hand. Every piece of equipment from the line to the fighting chair has to be perfect. If one thing fails, the battle is over, but the gear is only half the story. The real key is the team. Catching a giant tuna is rarely a one-person job. It takes a coordinated crew where everyone knows their role. You have the captain, who pilots the boat and positions it to help the angler. You have the angler in the fighting chair, who is in for the workout of their life. And you have the deckhands, who are ready with gaffs and ropes to secure the fish once it's brought to the boat. Communication has to be clear and instant. It's like a well-oiled machine with everyone working together toward one single goal, getting that monster fish on board. The fight itself is a brutal, exhausting process. It's a grind. Once the tuna is hooked, the real work begins. The fish will often dive deep, a move called sounding. The angler has to apply steady pressure, gaining line inch by inch, while the tuna pulls back with relentless power. This can go on for hours. Your back aches, your arms burn, your legs feel like jelly. It's a test of pure physical and mental endurance. You're soaked in sweat and sea spray, but you can't give up. The fish is counting on you to get tired. Your job is to prove it wrong no matter how much it hurts. Finally, after hours of struggle, the fish starts to tire. It's brought closer to the boat. This is the most critical and dangerous moment. The fish is still powerful, and a thrash of its tail can break equipment or injure a crew member. The deckhands have to be skilled and fearless, using large gaffs to secure the massive fish and haul it aboard. It's a moment of pure adrenaline and teamwork. When that giant tuna finally slides onto the deck, the exhaustion is replaced by a feeling of incredible accomplishment. It's the payoff for all the hard work, the sweat, and the grind. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. To really understand what it takes, let's look at a real-life example. This is the story of Ken Fraser and the biggest bluefin tuna ever caught on rod and reel. The date was October 26, 1979. The place was Ald's Cove, Nova Scotia, a spot famous for its giant tuna. Ken Fraser wasn't a professional fisherman, he was just a guy with a passion for fishing, out on the water with a skilled crew. They knew the waters were home to monsters, but nobody could have predicted what would happen that day. It was a day that would go down in fishing history. Fraser hooked into something enormous. Right away, he knew this was different. The fish took the bait and then took off like a rocket, pulling line from the reel at a terrifying speed. The power was unbelievable. The fight began, and it was a true marathon. For nearly an hour, Fraser battled the fish. The crew had to start the boat and follow it, because the tuna was pulling them all over the cove. The strain on the rod, the line, and Fraser's body was immense. Every muscle screamed in protest. This was not just fishing. This was a war against an ocean titan. The struggle was long and grueling. The fish would dive deep, and Fraser would have to slowly, painstakingly, pump the rod and crank the reel to gain back just a few feet of line. Then the fish would run again, and he'd lose all the progress he just made. It was a back-and-forth battle of wills. After 45 minutes of intense, heart-pounding effort, the fish finally began to show signs of tiring. The crew saw their chance. They maneuvered the boat, and Fraser used his last reserves of strength to bring the giant beast to the surface. What they saw left them speechless. It was bigger than anything they had ever imagined. When they finally got the fish back to the dock and put it on a scale, the numbers were staggering. The tuna weighed 1,496 pounds, nearly 1.5 tons. It was a world record that still stands today, over 4 decades later. Ken Fraser's catch became the stuff of legend. It's a perfect example of what can happen when preparation, skill, and a little bit of luck come together. It's a story that proves the existence of true sea monsters and solidifies the giant bluefin tuna's reputation as the ultimate prize for any angler brave enough to take on the challenge. Once a giant tuna is on the boat, the job is far from over. In fact, a new race begins. This is the race against time to preserve the quality of the fish. For commercial fishermen, the value of a bluefin tuna depends heavily on how it's handled. The crew has to work quickly. The fish must be bled immediately, and then packed in ice to bring its core temperature down. This careful process is crucial. It protects the meat, especially the fatty belly meat known as toro, which is the most prized part of the fish. A well-handled fish will fetch a much higher price at market. The journey from the boat to the market is a big deal, especially for a record-breaking fish. The news of a giant catch spreads like wildfire through fishing communities. When the boat arrives at the dock, there's often a crowd waiting to see the massive creature. It's a moment of pride for the crew, and a spectacle for the local community. The fish is carefully weighed and measured, and the numbers are officially recorded. For a town whose economy depends on fishing, a catch like this is a major event. It brings attention, it brings tourists, and it reinforces the town's identity as a fishing powerhouse. The ultimate destination for many of these high-quality giant tuna is Japan. The fish is often flown thousands of miles to the famous fish markets like the Toyosu market in Tokyo. Here, the tuna becomes the star of the show. It's put on display for buyers from top restaurants and sushi chains to inspect. They check the color of the meat, the fat content, and the overall quality. It's a serious inspection process. Then, the auction begins. It's a fast-paced, high-stakes event where buyers shout their bids. The prices can be astronomical. A single giant bluefin can sell for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. In 2019, one bluefin tuna sold for a record $3.1 million. Think about that. One fish, worth more than most houses. This incredible price shows just how valuable these fish are. The buyer, often a high-profile sushi restaurant owner, gets not just the fish, but also a huge amount of publicity. The person who eats a piece of that tuna is tasting one of the most expensive and sought-after foods on the planet. It's a long journey from the cold waters of the ocean to a delicate slice of sushi on a plate, and it's a journey that turns a fisherman's hard work into a luxury commodity. The high price of bluefin tuna at auction isn't just about supply and demand, it's also about culture. In Japan, tuna, or maguro as it's called, is more than just food. It's a central part of their culinary heritage. It's been a part of their diet for centuries. Sushi and sashimi, which are now popular all over the world, have deep roots in Japanese culture, and at the heart of the best sushi is high-quality tuna. The different cuts of the fish, from the lean akami to the fatty otoro, are appreciated like fine wines. Each has its own unique texture and flavor. The first tuna auction of the year at the Toyosu market is a major cultural event in Japan. It's front-page news. Companies compete fiercely to buy the first and best tuna of the season. Winning the bid is a matter of prestige. It's seen as a way to wish for good luck and prosperity for the business in the coming year. The person who buys the first tuna is celebrated, and their restaurant is guaranteed to be full of customers eager to taste the famous fish. This tradition highlights the deep respect and cultural significance that the Japanese people have for the bluefin tuna. This cultural importance goes beyond the plate. Tuna appears in Japanese art, literature, and festivals. It symbolizes strength, perseverance, and good fortune. The image of a powerful tuna swimming against the current is a powerful one. For many, it represents the spirit of Japan itself. This deep cultural connection helps explain why people are willing to pay so much for a single fish. They are not just buying food, they are buying a piece of their culture, a symbol of quality, and a connection to a long and proud tradition that honors the bounty of the sea. As the love for sushi has spread globally, so has the demand for high-quality tuna. What was once a primarily Japanese delicacy is now a luxury food enjoyed in major cities all over the world. This global demand has put even more pressure on tuna populations. While it's great that more people are appreciating this incredible fish, it also means we have a shared responsibility. The cultural celebration of tuna in Japan teaches us an important lesson. This is a creature to be respected and valued, not just consumed without a second thought. It's a reminder that some things are worth more than just their price tag. The thrill of catching a giant tuna and the high prices it can command come with a serious downside. The simple truth is, we've gotten too good at catching them. For decades, industrial fishing fleets have been pulling tuna out of the ocean faster than the fish can reproduce. This is called overfishing, and it's a huge problem for bluefin tuna. These fish grow very slowly. A bluefin might not be old enough to have babies until it's 8 or even 10 years old. When we catch too many of them, before they have a chance to reproduce, the population can't sustain itself. The numbers are pretty scary. Some populations of bluefin tuna, like the one in the Pacific, have dropped by more than 95% from their historic levels. That's a massive decline. It's like a big city shrinking down to a small town. The Atlantic bluefin population has also faced serious trouble, though recent conservation efforts have started to show some positive signs of recovery. The problem is that the demand for tuna remains incredibly high. As long as a single fish can sell for millions of dollars, there will always be immense pressure to catch more. Another part of the problem is something called bycatch. This is when fishing boats accidentally catch other marine animals they weren't trying to catch. The large nets and long lines used to catch tuna can also trap sharks, sea turtles, dolphins, and seabirds. Many of these animals are injured or killed in the process. It's a sad and wasteful part of some fishing methods. It shows that our actions in the ocean can have unintended consequences, affecting the entire marine ecosystem, not just the one species we are targeting. It's a messy part of a dirty job that needs a better solution. So, while we celebrate the skill and bravery of fishermen who land a record-breaking tuna, we also have to face a hard truth. Our love for this fish is putting it in danger of disappearing forever. The story of the giant tuna is becoming a story of scarcity. The same power and majesty that make the fish so exciting to catch are also what make it so vulnerable. It's a classic case of loving something a little too much. The heavy price of a big catch isn't just the money paid at auction, it's the potential cost to the health of our oceans. The situation for bluefin tuna is serious, but it's not hopeless. There are people working hard to find a better way forward. One of the most important solutions is sustainable fishing. This means managing fishing in a way that allows the tuna population to recover and remain healthy for future generations. This involves setting strict catch limits based on scientific data. It means creating and enforcing rules about what size fish can be caught and what kind of gear can be used. It's about finding a balance between the needs of fishermen and the needs of the fish. International cooperation is key. Tuna don't care about national borders, they swim across entire oceans, so countries have to work together to protect them. Organizations like the International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas, or ICCAT, bring nations together to agree on rules and quotas. It's not always easy. There are a lot of economic and political interests involved. But these agreements are our best hope for managing a global resource like bluefin tuna. It requires everyone to play by the same rules for the good of the ocean. Another promising area is aquaculture, which is basically fish farming. Scientists and fishermen are working on ways to raise bluefin tuna in captivity from eggs. This is incredibly difficult because of the tuna's complex life cycle, but they are making progress. If we can successfully farm tuna on a large scale, it could take a lot of pressure off the wild populations. It would allow us to meet the global demand for tuna without having to catch them from the ocean. It's a complicated job, but it could be a game changer for the future of the species. In the end, we all have a role to play. As consumers, the choices we make matter. We can choose to buy seafood that is certified as sustainable. We can ask questions at restaurants and fish markets about where the fish came from and how it was caught. It's about being an informed customer. The epic story of catching a giant tuna is exciting. It's a tale of human grit against the power of nature. But we need to make sure that story has a future. By balancing our admiration for these magnificent creatures with a deep commitment to protecting them, we can ensure that the giants of the deep will continue to roam the oceans for generations to come. That's a job worth doing.